Currently, no neighborhood notification is required for proposed demolition of potentially historic structures. Do you support this policy? 30-second answers. We'll go ahead and start with you, Susan.
No, I absolutely don't support that policy. The current notification all too often is when people wake up in the morning and find a historic bungalow demolished on the ground. That's not the right kind of neighborhood notification. People need to be notified in advance, and they should have the right to participate in the process. My neighborhood right to know plan would provide, number one, a 30-day review period for any issuance of a demolition permit of a historic structure to give the opportunity for the public to be involved. One other component of that plan is an expanded neighborhood notification radius for major development proposals that would come into a neighborhood. It currently is 300 feet. That's not enough.
The answer is no. No, I do not support that policy. I would prefer to see the community notified and given an opportunity to weigh in advance of a final decision being made. I think it's wrong. We've obviously seen plenty of examples in District 3 where this particular policy has been a bad precedent for our neighborhoods.
I also oppose the policy. Neighborhoods need to be informed about the demolition or changes in structures or communities that have historical value. It's ironic that it takes years, in my district, years to demolish the Aztec Motel, which was a haven for drug dealing and prostitution, but overnight you could see historic buildings disappear in a poof of smoke.
I bet you can't guess the answer. It is no, and I think as a minimum we should do the 300-foot notification, the planning group notification, the historical society notification, and of course post the site. Now, I know some progress was made by the Land Use and Housing Committee, but probably not enough yet. We do need to be informed of what's going on. Thank you.
San Diego University economics professor Andrew Narwold demonstrates in his study that the Mills Act increases tax revenue. Do you place more weight with this report or with claims the Mills Act revenue is lost for the city? You have 1 minute. Go ahead and start with your talk.
As a Torero, I need to point out that he is a member of the USD faculty. Just wanted to put that out. But I do agree. I think I've read his research. I think it's convincing. Certainly the halo effect makes complete sense. You know, when someone has an opportunity to designate their home, the city as a whole benefits when the homes surrounding it, their property values increase. I disagree with the notion that this is a huge hit to our tax revenue. I suspect that he is correct, that the halo effect ends up wiping that away and making this a net positive for our city and for our neighborhoods.
And just to follow up on what Todd just said, it's not just Professor Narwold who is talking about the halo effect, but the materials that were provided for us to read on this issue show that same findings have been made by researchers all over the country. Ashbeer in Massachusetts regarding historical districts, Ford in Baltimore, Coffin in Illinois, and in Philadelphia, Ashbeer collaborated with Huffman and found that even vacant land in historically designated areas increase in value. They found a 131% increase in the value of just vacant lots in historical areas of Philadelphia. So I think it's really important that as we go through our city and our inner city neighborhoods, we find ways not just to preserve one building, but how do we preserve the block and maybe the street, the block across the street, and help keep communities together and create some continuity that will increase values within those neighborhoods.
The answer to the question is yes. I definitely place more weight on Professor Narwold's study. And that is because he actually did a study. He didn't just look at the properties that had reduced property taxes. He looked at, as Todd described, the halo effect. And in doing the computations, if they're even close to true, we are getting $7 million profit on the current situation, which is terrific. It's unbelievable when reading the grand jury report as to the assumptions that were actually made, and in fact some of the facts and findings, which I'm sure most of you have read, don't seem to hang together very well.